Everybody, it's Adrian from Zanza's Toys with another miniature mechanical toy. So this is just a prototype, but I'm really excited about how it's going, so this is going to be a shorter video than usual. I just want to share the progress with you. What I have here is a toy radar station. Now, I know it doesn't look like much, but if I turn this knob, watch what happens. Beep. Beep. Etc. So what we have is, as this turns, we'll get a little blip. When designing toys, I always like to take the thing that I'm representing and think about what the most characteristic action it performs. And if you think of like what's visually interesting about a radar station, it's the line that turns and the dot that shows up, warning you of enemies or UFOs or who knows what, right? So I want to show you how this works. This is pretty much the final mechanical prototype. So obviously this doesn't look too much like a radar station yet. There's a lot more cosmetic changes to make, but I'm happy with how it's going and wanted to share. Okay, so let's get a closer look. Here's the toy, and it's got a knob here on the left, and if I turn that, we'll see that the line rotates, and this dot appears, and then disappears. So, blip, 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 etc., right? So, if I turn it around, we can see how it works. So what we've got here is we have a normal involute gear, and then a crown gear. And as I turn that, the involute gear turns the crown. And these are both made with FreeCAD's excellent gear add-on. So once again, like everything else I make, this is all open source tools. As this disc turns, if we turn and we look at it from above, we see that this disc has a raised portion that lifts the flap and then lets it drop. So pretty simple, not too complicated, but that's all we needed. So that's pretty much how it works, but if you might be wondering about this area over here. So if you think that this is more complicated than it needs to be, for what I've shown you so far, you'd be right. But there's another feature that I wanted to include in this toy, and that's where this comes in. So here's one radar station, right? But let's say your figures want to monitor from multiple directions. You know, north, south, east, west, different quadrants, whatever, right? You might need more than one. So this is exactly the same thing, except I haven't put a knob over here. So I can still turn that carefully. It's a little harder to turn, but if I turn it, we get the same action, right? So we get the same everything, right? But what's cool is if you don't mount a knob there, there's a hole here. So I'll be making an optional part that can cover this up if you just want a single station. But what you can do is you can plug these together and get them to turn at the same time. So I'm just going to align these like that. And this is, I'm still working out some kinks here, but if I hold them together, now if I turn this knob, they both turn at the same time. You can also, so I managed to get the lines to be totally in sync, but you can also have them sort of out of sync, which is kind of fun too. So I'll take them apart, I'll rotate this a little bit, give it a turn or so, make sure they're not the same. Okay, yeah, they're good and offset now. And if I put this back together, now when I turn them, they still both rotate, but they're offset, which, you know, is kind of fun too. That might make for a more interesting scene. Yeah, so that's it for this video. Kind of just a quick preview of something we're working on. So next steps are to finish off the cosmetic details, make some custom stickers, make sure there's a cylinder around here like you generally see at radar stations, and just, you know, add a little bit of polish. So if you want to see that, please do make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.